Hello, family. I'm here with another message, and I want to give thanks to Yahuwah. But first, I want to say thank my husband for, pushing me to come out here to talk. Because I really have mixed feelings about it, but I want to be obedient to first my husband because he is my head, and then to my Father in heaven because, really everything that I want to say is coming from him. So I'm just going to say it right now. This is really for my women. Okay, so I am in obedience to scripture where it says to fall underneath of the man, not to take from him, right? Not to overshadow, not to, bring too much attention, to the woman bring too much attention to herself, and and take away from what the Father is doing, inside of the ministry of the man and the woman. Okay, so I just want to stay in alignment with that. And so but this is weighing heavy on my heart. Okay, so bear with me because it's not an easy thing to talk about. But this name of this message is going to be waiting on Yahuwah. So for some of y'all remember when we were Christians, we used to say waiting on the Lord. And now we know that the Lord means something totally different. So we don't say Lord anymore. So then I just want to say waiting on Yah, waiting on Elohim, waiting on the Creator, waiting on the Father. Okay. And I just want to talk to my ladies today about how to do that. And men, if you want to listen, that's fine. Listen, because it actually may help you find your bride, right? Or what bride you're really looking for. But I just want to start with the women. I really want to reach out to them. Okay? So I have some scriptures here that I just want to read. And these are not referring exactly to this situation. But it's so crazy it applies. Isn't that crazy how it really applies to the situation? So one of us says, but they who wait on Yah, they shall renew their strength. They shall mount up their wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isn't that something? I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of Yahuwah in the land and the living. Wait for Yahuwah. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for him. Wait for Yahuwah, for Elohim. Wait for him. Elohim is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Right? So all of these scriptures are basically telling you, wait, just wait. So now, I know that it's hard to find a man. Trust me, I know better than you probably ever could imagine. I know it's hard. And I'm giving my testimony now. I have been through the ringer with this, ladies, and I know you can relate to what I am saying. I have been through it with this whole looking for a man thing. I mean, I've been on POF. I've been on ChristianMingle.com. I've been on SugarDaddy.com. I mean, I didn't do the swipe thing because I said, or the, I forgot the other app I didn't do that, but, I was curious one day, because the way that they advertise these apps to women is like, hey, you want to get married? Well, get on this app, and you get on there and you see all these guys and you're like, and they got good jobs and, you're like, okay, this might be something. I mean, I'm not out there in the street. I don't go out anymore. I'm not going to clubs and bars and things like that. So how am I going to find these people that I'm looking for? So yeah, why not get online and find a lot of people, and try that way. So, I was game for that. I tried and believed, and trust me, at this point, I was a Christian, right? So I still had my Christian values, but, let's just put it like this. With Christians, we were allowed to do a lot of things, okay? So, I get on these apps, right? And I noticed that, like, you're talking to these guys and, you talk to them a couple of times and next thing you know, they talking about sex or whatever and they want you to come over, blah, 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 blah. And so many of these dates that I went on, some of them were cool. Some of them were very nice, actually. It got to the point that I started to see a pattern in it, right? I started to see this pattern, of dating. I just saw this pattern and I said, man, there's something's wrong with this pattern that I'm seeing here. So I said, I really want to see what the men see, right? Because I keep seeing this pattern and it wasn't a good positive pattern. And so all the men had on this. So I made up a fake profile and it was, I pretend like I was the man and I wanted to find a wife or whatever, right? So I got on the site. Immediately when I got on the site, all I saw was sex, 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 sex. I saw that the way that they get these men on these sites is sex. They advertise through sex. Like it's not, do you want a wife? It's, do you want sex? It's black men, Chinese women want you, and Hispanic men, black women want you. It was sex, 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 sex. So, needless to say, I'm not on the site anymore. I got off the site because I realized that I was a piece of meat on there. and, and I fell right into it, posting nice pictures. And, I never got too promiscuous, or overly sexual in my pictures, but hey, look, we put our assets out there, literally our assets, right? We put them right on out there for them all, for anybody and everybody to see. So, I just want to say that you may have to go through a lot of dating, right? Until you get sick and tired. He'll allow you to go through it until you get sick and tired, right? But you're going to pay a heavy, heavy, heavy price when you do that. Okay, he'll allow you. He'll still bless you. He'll be there watching you really mess up. He'll do all that. Y'all, who I'm talking about. He will sit back and he will let you just do what you do and not really say anything. And he probably not even looking at you. And you just doing what you do and how you want to do it and how you think you should do it. And you done read books on it. And you got your checklist of what you want. He got to be boom, 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 boom. He got to have this. He got to have that. He got to do all this stuff. He got to be good with children. He got to do this. He got to be having a sense of humor. He got to be your little checklist. You know what you're talking about. You know the checklist that you got, that you want. Okay? And, and you feel like you're in charge of how you want to date. I've even had a girlfriend tell me, hey, look, you date the way that you date, and I'm going to date the way that I date. Okay? And I was like, yo, how about date the way that the Father wants you to date? Let's go there. Let's date the way that the Father wants you to date. She didn't want to do that. I didn't have a girlfriend in sight that wanted to do that. I mean, none of them. So, I really got to the place where I didn't want none of those men. I didn't want any of them. I mean, I couldn't find my match. I just could not find my match. I could not, having a strong belief system, in the faith. Not in the truth, but just a Christian, right? Just you being a Christian was a priority for me. I made that number one priority. So it's like if you weren't willing to get closer to the Father, I automatically cross you off a list as a Christian. Okay? As a Christian. So even then I noticed, right, with these Christian men, I didn't see any change in if they didn't believe. So like some say, yeah, I believe in God, but then they just did everything that you knew that wasn't right. And then the ones that say, yeah, I believe in God, but then they still didn't do. Oh yeah, I go to church. I'm a deacon, but you still kind of not doing right. Like you talking to me, her. It's a mess. It's a mess. Okay. So now coming into the truth, right? I was married when I came into the truth. Just imagine coming into the truth today and you single, right? And, time is just not going to stop for you. Like, because it was warning signs before then, because I had gotten to the point when I was a Christian that I wanted to be closer to the Father. I wanted him more than I wanted it. I wanted him more than I wanted air. It had gotten to the point where I was fed up with my job, my career, my life. I was really coming out of it. I was so sick of it. I mean, yeah, I still went out here and there, but it wasn't fun for me anymore. It was at the point where it was this big hole in my life that I needed filling. And I thought it was a man because I had tried to put a man in that hole so many times, Then I thought it might be a baby. Then I thought it might be a career. I tried to fill that hole so many times. I even tried to put friends in there or relatives and family in that hole. Nothing worked. The more I tried to fill that void, the more I just was empty. I was so empty, in my spirit. I couldn't, so eventually I said, you know what? I'm going to wait on Yahuwah. I'm going to wait on him. I'm going to start waiting on him. You know what? That's going to be my husband from now on. I'm going to make him my husband. I'm going to make the Father my husband, because I know that he will never forsake me there. I know he will never disappoint me. He will never leave me. And he will fill that void. I knew that in my heart. I knew. It's like all this time I was running from him because I didn't think that I was worthy to have a husband like that. I didn't think I was clean enough, meaning that I had premarital sex and I just didn't feel like, I didn't want to be so like an oddball. I have a million reasons why I didn't choose him first, right? And I tried to fill the hole on my own. But I got so fed up that I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this no more. I just won't be married. I'm just not going to be married. It's just, I wanted that life, but obviously that life don't want me. So I'm not doing it no more. I'm just not doing it no more. I'm not dating anymore. I'm just not going to do it. And, and the Father in heaven is going to be my husband. Yahusha will be my husband. And Yahusha started to be my husband. And so I would wake up in the morning and I would greet Yahusha. Good morning. I love you so much. You are everything to me. I hear the birds chirping. I hear the wind. I see the sun. It's just a beautiful day. And I'm so happy that I'm greeting you. When I open up my eyes, it's all about you. And then I would just dive into some scriptures and, I would watch, the ministers on television. I mean, I knew all of them. Because I was seeking him out. I needed all that I could get from him. I watched every minister on television from the time I woke up, from the time that I walked out the door, and then I listened to, I listened to it on the radio. I listened to worship, and I read the scriptures. I went to church. I was filled up in the spirit, but it's like I needed more. I need to know more about him. It's like my longing for him was just incredible. I just needed more and more and more and more of him. And, and then all of a sudden in my life, I had an outpour of a whole lot of people in the word, that they would be pouring out to me, and then we would get in these very deep biblical study teachings, and more and more I forgot about men. Just totally forgot about them. I mean, like they was further from my mind. It's just something about it. Like I felt that void with Yahuwah, and I didn't even look back. I was good. I was so good, trust me. So let me say this. So now, I wasn't thinking about men anymore. I still kept myself up looking nice just because, I just like to look nice. I didn't see why I would not look nice anymore just because I didn't want a man. I still just look nice, and I still got offers, and, and invitations out to dinner, and then old people coming back in my life, and and it's like I was like, no, I'm so good right now. He had me in a place, right, that I could focus on the little things. I was amazing. It's like before I was so trying to feed my flesh in a way that I was overlooking the little things. And then once I got with him, right? Once I made him my husband, my boyfriend, or whatever you want to call it, like he was my man. All of a sudden, the little things, I started to really focus in on the little things. And when I say little things, I mean relationships, family, little, I started to get more into the details of personable things with people, which was really a ministry birthing, see? And I didn't even know what was happening. I just noticed that the words that I was telling these people was on another level of kindness. It wasn't really me, because I still cared about people, but I didn't care that much, because I was more worried about myself, right? That's what Christianity does to us too. And all of a sudden, it wasn't about me anymore, because I was filled up. It was like I was trying to help other people get filled up. And I would take that time to, that time that I normally had looking for men, going out, partying, all of that time got redirected, to helping other people in ways that, I never would have done before. It was amazing. It was incredible, right? And I still went out with my girlfriends, but that was difficult too, because then they want to try to pull you back in to this pattern that you were in, and then like even talking to them, you had to listen to their stories. And sometimes listening to their stories and getting into their relationships, it was a distraction from what I had with my man. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening to you chase after this man that I already know ain't no good for you. And listening to you is pulling me away from my man. That's what it's doing. And then I found myself totally being alone, like even with girlfriends, family, everybody. I was pulled away from all of that. Not saying I still didn't engage in it, but it was coming away and being more in him, and being all filled up in his glory. So let's talk about waiting on him, right? Because all of what I'm saying sounds easy. It is not easy. It's not easy at all. But it is what you have to do in order, to get where you're trying to go in a way. Not saying I'm doing it because I was trying to get married. I was doing it to fill the void. I was doing it because nobody else can fill that void for me. And he called me a long time ago, but I kept running because I was scared. I don't know. I think we're comfortable in our sin. And, it's just a familiar place. It was a familiar, I'm not going to talk for everybody else. It was a familiar place for me. I was comfortable in myself, doing what I do, doing me, being an independent woman, and going out here to take care of myself. I don't need no man, I don't need nobody, blah, 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 right? And I was comfortable there. And then when he was calling me, I wasn't comfortable over there. Like, I was kind of scary in a way. It was like, I really don't know if I want to try to do this or not. Like, if it was the unknown for me. It was the unknown for me, right? So finally, once I'm there with him, it wasn't scary at all. Like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was comforting. It was beautiful. It was, it was fulfilling. Like, what he says, I got that water, you'll never thirst again. I never thirst again. It was over for me. I mean, I couldn't believe how good I was feeling deep in my spirit, though. Like, in my spirit, I was feeling good. It wasn't easy. But I must admit, I had to get to the place where I was done. It didn't matter. I wanted to be alone. I still wanted the husband, but I gave it up. I gave it up. And I know women out here, you don't want to hear that. Because you might already be in a relationship that you love that man and you don't want to picture life being without him. I was in that position also. And I'm going to tell you like this. You gonna be thankful that you left. It might be hard now thinking about getting out of that relationship that you're in that's really not feeding your spirit. It's really not spiritually helping you get closer to the if anything is pulling you away. That right there, I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard, but it's something that has to be done. Because if you do not do it, you're pretty much dancing with Satan. That's what you're doing. You dancing with him, and you're not going to stop dancing with him, and you're going to block your blessings, and you are going to go through things that you would not have to go through had you just, if you just listened to the Father and waited on him. Like, that actually becomes easier than the trials and tribulations that you're going to go through if you don't listen to him. And I mean, you're going to go through some trials. If you don't listen to your Father and wait on him, you're going to be going through some very, very hard trials. And they're coming. Believe that. They're coming. There ain't no way around them. And I mean, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested to the point where that one that you love so much, he not going to look favorable like he once did. Because what's going to happen is Yahuwah is going to pull you away from him. And when he gets involved, it's over. And I know sometimes some of y'all want to wait until he gets involved because you want Yahuwah just to pull you out of it. But you don't want the way he going to pull you. When he pull you out, it ain't going to be... It could have been a whole different situation had you just listened and be pulled out on your own, okay? Just listen to him when he say, look, let that go and seek me out, right? What does seek me out mean? It means forget everything in the whole world and seek him out and find out everything you can about him and build that relationship with him and make him. I mean, it's almost like you really, he will talk back to you. He will tell you things. He will reveal things. It got, my gifts started popping out when I got with him. Like, that didn't happen with regular men. But when I got with Yahuwah, my gifts started popping out. Like, it's like, I could detect a lie. Like I used to tell my child, I say, don't worry, you ain't got to tell me nothing because Yahuwah going to expose. He thought I was crazy. I said, he'll expose everything. And he didn't believe it. And it's like I sit back and I worship, I study, and I build my relationship. And then all of a sudden, boom, he gives me a vision. And I start to see, I said, oh, okay. Things start coming to me that I didn't, really? Okay. I didn't have to dig down and try to find out, the lie or the secret or he just revealed it to me. He revealed it to me. I didn't have to wonder if the man cheating and check his phone and tree box him, and stand out there in the car and wait for him to come out of work and see who he with. I didn't have to do none of that because he revealed all things to me. I used to just ask him, I said, Father, that's a nice man. What about that man right there? And then, and then the next day I wouldn't think about that man no more. I'd be back on Yahuwah, back on Yahusha. And then 2 days later, a week later, he would reveal that man was, and I was like, ooh, I'm glad I listened to you because that man was not the one for me. I asked him, but you got to wait on him now. So you got to wait. Like if you ask the Father, Father, that I need somebody in my life. You got to wait on him because he's not going to he's not a genie in a bottle. And next thing you know, poof, this man is going to appear right before your eyes. It doesn't work like that. He wants to know if you put him first. See, he really wants to know where your heart is. Like my heart, I still love my ex. And, I got kids with him and I still love him. I've been with him for years. And, I'm tired of his stuff. But that's that love. I can't imagine well, see, now you done put a man before Yahuwah. So that ain't never going to work out. I'll tell you straight up. And it's bad. I know you don't want to hear it because you've been with this man for years and years and years. Y'all got kids and history and you got good and bad times, whatever. And you don't want to hear it. But if you have not as a woman put Yahuwah first, ain't none of it. Even if you're married today and you're married to a man and you have not put Yahuwah before this man, you need to do that. Because if you're having problems in your marriage, it's probably because you haven't done that. Now, it had nothing to do with the man. It has everything to do with the woman. And where a woman should be married to Yahuwah first. And then he brings you your groom. He brings the person to you that you need, the one perfect for you, for your journey, for him, not so that you can feel good and not so that you can get all of what you want, and all your tickled, all your back scratched and all that foolishness that you want for your own selfish pleasures. He's not sending you a man for that. Did you know that? He is sending you a man to help you in whatever it is he wants you to do with that man for him. We got it all wrong, y'all. I don't know why nobody explained this to us. We're getting it wrong. But I'm trying to tell you, this is the way. That is the, think about it. Think about it. He wants you to live a good life. Don't get me wrong. He wants you to live a good life and everything. But he really needs a kingdom here on earth. He needs a kingdom here right? That's going to be compatible with the one up there. So now, if you all in the world and all wanting to do whatever you want to do, and you want to think about yourself and, and your children and all of this, and you so into that, and you never take the time for him, then if you die the next day, what good are you in heaven? You did not even fulfill half of the things that he probably really wanted you to do. And there you go. And then you're going to be judged. And then when you get up there, and at first you was concentrating on your child getting a good education. You was concentrating on finding a man. You was concentrating on the job. You was concentrating on education. Then you get up in heaven. Boom, you up in heaven. You don't even know whether you got hit by a bus, whatever. You up in heaven. And you're being judged. You're going to be like, I messed up. I was so concerned in my degree. I was so concerned to start my business, to get money, to take it, to be independent. I was so trying to find the wrong man. I was so trying to focus to make sure my daughter, my children, my son was this and that. And I never, ever took the time and thought about what I needed to be doing in this kingdom now I face. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to get stuck like that. That's not where you want. No relationship is going to make you, it's going to help you, shall I say. None of that, no man, a great man, money, all that. That's not going to help you when you're getting judged. That's not. Your judgment is going to come whether you had that relationship with him. See? And see, once you concentrate on that relationship with him, he will fulfill your heart. He already knows what you need. He knows you need a big, strong man. He knows you need some help with them kids. He knows you need, to have a child because your child may be a child he's going to use in the future. He knows everything. He really just wants you to be seeking him out and let him decide everything in your life after that. That's how you wait for him. That's how you trust him. That's how you lean on him. That's how you wait for him. And it doesn't mean wait for an hour, wait for 2 days, wait for 2 years, wait for 5 years, and be like, okay, that's enough. I'm ready to. No, wait on him means wait until the end. And guess what? Some of y'all, depending on your relationship with him, he's deciding you ain't gonna get one. You're not gonna get a man because something in you is stubborn. Something in you is not being obedient to his word. Something in you is on the fence. Something in you is your faith is weak. Something in you is doubtful. Something in you is not ready. And I know it's nothing that you could do like in your own strength, but really, he says you take the first step and then I'll take the next. Some of us won't even take that first step. And when I say first step, I'm not meaning like you just try for an hour. I'm saying step into it. This is the best way that I could describe it. Have you ever stood and fell backwards and somebody caught you? It almost to the point where you had to trust that person that's going to be catching you, right? And a lot of times I didn't like to play that game because I didn't know they was going to play a joke on me and let me fall and bust my head, right? So I never played that game. But I think it's great if you can get to the point where you can trust somebody that they will catch you when you fall backwards, right? I think that's a beautiful thing. But what I'm telling you to do is you need to fall back and let Yahuwah catch you. And see, now that's hard because you don't see nobody back there. But can you trust him? Can you actually fall and allow him to catch you? See? Can you literally, fall back? And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about deep in your spirit. Fall back. Fall from everything that you know. Fall from everything that you've learned. And literally let him catch you. Let him catch your spirit. So you have to surrender it over. You have to let it go. Surrender it all to him. Connect your spirit to him. How do you do this? By getting into that deep relationship with him and pretty much pushing everything out. The whole world, push it out and get into this deep, deep relationship with him. Study the word, until it fills you up. And then he'll start talking to you. He'll start revealing things to you. And some people, it happens different for everybody. I'm not going to say that everybody has a voice that they can hear. But trust me, you're going to meet him. But first you have to believe. It has to be a belief that is unwavered. It has to be a belief that you can stand on, that you can fall back on. Like it will catch you, everything about it. It's hard to explain, but I'm trying to tell you, if you go there, right, he will fulfill everything in your heart that you desired. Because he knows you first needed him. You first asked for him. You first wanted him. You see what I'm saying? And then before you know it, things will start to manifest in your favor. Now, when they start manifesting in your favor, right? It's nothing that you have to do in this circumstance. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change, because first of all, you should have a relationship with him. So basically, that relationship that you had with Yahusha really has trained you how to be a good wife. A wife worthy of a man on a mission. Because these men out here, what mission are they on? You don't know. Like a lot of them, you can't just go out here and say, I just want a pastor or a preacher. No, you can't go looking for anything because he already knows what you want in your heart. Remember? So it's a lot of gifts that he brings are not going to come with the great big box with the silver wrapping. The greatest gifts are not going to come like that. See, that's Satan. Satan fools us into thinking that all of the glitter and the glam and the big bows and, the Maseratis and all of that is really you made it, or you succeeded, or you hit the jackpot, and and everything's up. But most of those, they get all of that. They don't have good relationships. They don't have good marriages. They think they do. And a lot of y'all who listening to this and you in a great, wonderful marriage, you know it ain't always great and wonderful. And you can't sit up here and lie about that. You can't sit up here and think that your relationship is so. Yes, you're blessed, but it ain't as wonderful as you thought it was going to be. And we as African American women, right? We have a pretty rough time, with our men, and now these men that's in the faith, and and to me, they act like it's another social club. Like, what I'm saying? Like at first they was Masons and, alphas and now they in the truth. And now they expect women to do all this stuff. They want to have multiple wives and all of that. I mean, this get harder in the faith to find a good man. You love the fact that he's talking about Yahuwah, but then you don't love all the rest of the stuff that he talking about. And that's because you thought, because that man knew the word, that was the way that you that's a good man for you. But you never studied to get the word. And some of y'all have. I mean, some of you women, I believe is on the path. I believe that you on the path. I believe that he has poured into his sisters, and the sisters are now realizing that they're going to make Yahusha their husband, and they're not settling for any man that come around, or any man that, and then the ones that are, something's wrong with that. You're not really waiting on him. You still working out of your flesh. You see what I'm saying? Because even in courting, even when you're courting, and I like to say courting because in courting, you should not really be alone with a man at all. You shouldn't be alone with a man. That's not something you should be. Because you already know, if you've been, waiting on Yahuwah, you have not been entertaining sex or any of those things for a long time. And if you get with a man, you're going to be pulled by your flesh, but it'll be a test for you, see. But I'm saying, why even get tested like that? See, now, if a man is asking you, to be entertained by him, and you decide that you want to, because you lonely and you want to have company. And so you go and you talk to this man, and you guys are alone, your flesh calling, his flesh calling. That's a dangerous situation to be in. And it might be actually your test to see if you will not go there with your flesh. So what I'm telling you is, why even put yourself in that situation? Because you already know, if you entertain this man and you two alone and y'all grown, you already know that you're going to have to fight your flesh. And I'm saying, why put yourself in that situation? And to me, a real man is going to do all he can do to obtain you. He's a hunter. Men are hunters, and they are going to hunt what they want. If they see something they want, they're going to come out. So if you just stay, unwavered, waiting for Yahuwah, the man he will bring that man to you. It's not something that you got to really figure out. But I know you're going to do it, because I did it too. And I say, hey, Father, is this the man for me? But then guess what? You can't keep seeing the man. You got to wait for the answer. Now, what if you don't get an answer? You still got to be waiting. He's a perfect man, and he's this and he's that and everything. And, well, what did the Father say? Did he give the okay? How do you know? It's not an easy thing to do, to trust him, but it's an absolutely necessary thing to do. I can prove it to you. Listen to this. Behold, we consider those blessed who remain steadfast. You have heard of the steadfastness of Job, and you have seen the purpose of Yahuwah, how Yahuwah is compassionate and merciful. So you already know he got your back. That's the only person you need. That's the only thing that you need, is him. That's it. Yahuwah Yahusha. That's it. I married Yahusha because I wasn't ready for Yahuwah. I married Yahusha because I knew Yahusha could get me ready. You got to go through him anyway. And so now that he has given me the desires of my heart, What was your heart exactly desiring? Because I know you wasn't thinking that your heart was going to be, your heart desired fleshly things, earthly, fleshly things. But he was setting you up for something way more. And all that time that you were steadfast waiting for him was your trial, was your test. And if you passed it, if you passed that test, now here comes your reward. But the reward was not for your flesh, even though it will service your flesh, it's not for your flesh. It's really for the purposes of him. So we have to remember that, ladies. We have to remember that we are in training, right? For the purpose. Women are in training.
It's 7 o'clock.
We are in training for the purpose. That's what we're in training for. He's not really thinking about our desires of what we want. He's thinking about, are you going to be that woman to help that man achieve the things that he needs that man to achieve? And if you always just thinking about yourself, how are you going to pour everything into this man to build him up to be what he needs for the purpose of Yahuwah? How can you do that if you focus on me? This what I want, this what I want. I need this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want. How are you going? Because as soon as a child come in, the child is very needy. It gets a lot of the attention that now the man is not gonna have. That's why some men don't even want kids. They don't want kids because they know as soon as you get a child, all the focus is gonna be there, and then they're gonna lose that time. See? And I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying we're really not supposed to be focusing on the kids more than the mission. And now you women that's in the truth that already have kids, this a difficult time right now, because they're making all these changes, and you thinking about where your child is going to be later and what is it. This is what I honestly would say. Build them children up in Yahuwah now. Like, just build them up just bring them up in Yahuwah, and let their relationship with Yahuwah start young. Because see, we didn't have that. We didn't have Yahuwah. We had God, and then God was like, you could cuss, you could do all these different things with God. It's like when they got teenagers, I was like, forget God. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I want to do. And there's so many distractions. You got the gaming, and you got this, you got that, and it's, fun. They got so many things for kids that's fun that we didn't have, and they got it, all these little bouncing in balls, and, it's just endless of their fun that they had, parachuting, all these things. It pull away from the Father and what the mission is. So if you have children now and you're single, you should be concentrating on pouring, his spirit into your children so that they can grow up in the word. They can grow up in the faith, in the truth. And that their focus could be on the mission. And then he will provide people in their lives to help them on the way. And therefore, if you concentrate your life on that, he's going to provide a man to come in and help the mission of Yahuwah. Because that's all that matters at this point. We're in the end times. Our lives are not... Our lives right now, we're on this truth is is not really for us to be finding husbands and living married, happy ever. No, it is to build this kingdom here on earth. Like, his kingdom has to become very strong at this point, You know, you got all of these different beliefs. You already know that, that things are going to be changing. You're going to be tested. You're going to have to go through persecution. So, I mean, when you're looking for a spouse, you see what I'm saying? Like, why? I'm looking for somebody to help me get through these times. The person that you need is Yahuwah and Yahusha. And Yahusha is going to help you. And then once you concentrate on that, then the man will come and help with that. And ain't nothing you even got to think about. Because you are already in training for what you need to be doing. You know? I mean, that's what you're in training for that. And yes, you need to learn how to cook. And yes, you need to learn how to clean. I mean, these are things that women are supposed to be doing. I'm sorry to tell you, I know that you might have thought that wasn't your job and but women, we're called to a higher standard of what we need to be doing. You know, we have to do a lot. Blame it on Eve. She one bit the apple. I mean, and now the burden is on us. I mean, we have so much pain, and we got to birth kids, and then we got to, go through mood swings and come on our period every month. I mean, it's a lot. Women have to go through a lot. I mean, it's just the truth. We have to do a lot. But guess what? Your reward will be great in the end. He's going to use women to do a lot of things in the end times. He's going to use us. We almost bring that softness to a hard situation. It's something about a woman. I mean, a house isn't even a house until a woman comes in. She makes it a home. You know how many men need a good woman? They just can't find them because the men aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But that's not our job to teach them. That's not our job to tell them. They have to learn that from another man. They have to learn that from Yahusha. But where are we learning from Yahusha? We're learning that we need that word first. Because when you get that word and the understanding and the scriptures down and you know the truth and he's your husband and you listening to him and he's guiding you and you can fall back into his arms, you're on the path there. You're on the narrow path. And everybody might not get a husband. You might not. What you going to do about it? Your focus wasn't supposed to be there anyway. Take your focus away from that. Maybe you'll get one. Because all things are possible through him. But I'm saying your focus shouldn't be on the man anyway. And if you're in a bad relationship, if you're in an abusive relationship, you already know you need to be out of there. You already know that. If you're in a bad marriage, I'm gonna tell you one thing about a bad marriage. Did you make Yahusha first? No. So now you need to do that. You need to do it. Because he could turn the whole marriage around. It's really probably you that he's waiting so that he could turn the man around. Because if he turned the man around and you ain't where you supposed to be, y'all still not going to be right. Have you ever thought about that? So say your husband is out here, he's doing what he's not supposed to do, he's cheating or whatever, right? You want to leave him, but you want to keep your vows to the man, right? And you can't divorce him because it is divorce in the scripture. But I'm saying if you don't want to divorce him because you want to be true to the one that you started with, because you do love him. And, sometimes men, when they get in this midlife crisis, they go through a lot of things and, yeah, all of that. But if you make Yahusha, right? If you make him your man, even inside of your marriage, you can probably turn the whole marriage around. You probably can turn it around. because you probably didn't start like that. And I know it's not your fault, but you probably got married for other reasons, or how all those things I just talked about. That's how we got married. I didn't get married like that, but I'm saying other people might have got married like that. But now it is time for you to get that relationship going with Yahusha, because then he can work everything out for you. He'll work everything out for you. He'll work even the marriage. He'll work that out. He'll work it out in your favor. You just got to trust him. And you got to stay steadfast. So my ladies, I just want to say this. If you've been in a relationship for more than 5 years with a man and you're not married, it's time to marry Yahusha. If you're dating and the man is trying to pull you different ways and he's trying to lure you over to his house and dating inappropriately, and and his doctrine is not lining up with scripture, right? You need to marry Yahusha. You need to marry Yahusha. If you're lonely and you know what I'm saying, and you're out here on your own and you go to bed and wake up by yourself, you need to marry Yahusha. You need to marry Yahusha. If you're a single mother and you got kids and you're tired of being alone, you need to marry Yahusha. You need to marry Yahusha. If you young and you just came out of high school and you're in college and and they having wild parties and you need to marry Yahusha. You need to marry Yahusha. I wouldn't even be on the dorm. I would come right out the dorm. I would go to school online so I could be with Yahusha. And I will only go to school to learn about Yahusha. I will only go to school to maybe learn how I would be effective in the kingdom. Knowing revelations, knowing where we're going, knowing all of these things. If I go to school at this point, I want to know how I could be a help for the kingdom. Kingdom living. Now, how you going to learn? What you going to learn that's going to help you in kingdom living? That's why I say you need to marry Yahusha, so that he can guide you on what to do. He can guide you on what school to go to. He can guide you on what education you need for the kingdom here on earth. The one that he is building right now, Israel is being built and built up. And it's not on the knowledge of man. So, but I know you got to feed yourself. I know you got to work a job. But that's why you have to marry Yahusha, so he can guide you where the Father wants to take you. That's why it's so important. You train your women, your children up like that to marry Yahusha. Train your boys up to gain that relationship with him. Train your girls up to depend on Yahusha through everything. Don't even get into boys. Marry Yahusha. Courting a Yahusha. That's who you need to be courting. Yahusha. Yahusha. Because he's going to make everything possible. He's going to turn things around in his favor the way that he needs them to go for this purpose. It's all about the purpose. We are being trained down here to be able to go up there and fight a war. I don't think we think about that sometimes, because we get, we just want to lay on the beach and have a good time and all that. But what if we don't have that life anymore? Then what? Are you going to fall apart and go crazy if we don't have that life anymore? If this nice glamorous life of going to trips, laying on the beach and partying and all this, and having a good old time, going to amusement parks and stuff like that, all of that stuff. What if you don't have that anymore? Are you just going to be ready to die? And then when you die and you get up there in judgment, you're going to be like, well, what did you do? Well, how are you a help for the kingdom? What are you going to bring to help the kingdom? What are you bringing? You got all these kids, but can they help the kingdom? Or they helping Satan? You know, these are things that you really need to go into deep prayer and study about. You know, we need to be building the kingdom up. That's our purpose here, is because we can't have, it says that you need to be a spotless bride. That means you need to be reborn in Yahusha, so that all the stains that you got dating these people out here and all this sex and sleeping with this guy, that guy, all of that is spirits now that you got on you, and trauma, and, you know, being raped and molested and abused and all these things, all these hurts, and that ain't going up there. That's not going to go up there. That's not going to go up there. So it's best that you get rid of all of that through Yahushua. He'll clean it all up for you. Clean everything up for you. You won't have no more issues. You won't have daddy issues, mama issues. I wasn't loved. And nobody want me. You know, I'm ugly. I'm pretty. I got this. I got that. I mean, all these issues that we got. Yahushua. That's all I can tell you. Yahushua. So, I know that this message might not have been what you wanted to hear, and maybe you thought that it was an easier way, but it is easy if you surrender. It becomes super, super easy. Like, I didn't have to work at anything. He just blessed me. He just blessed. And at first, I didn't even see it was going to be a blessing, but he gave me a vision. And the vision is really what held me steadfast. Now, everybody not going to get a vision. I don't know why he always gives me visions. And he gave me a vision on my husband. But I'm saying, even if I didn't get a vision, I was still on Yahusha anyway. I was already there when I met my husband. I was already on Yahusha when I met my. That's why I told you. Yahusha need to be your husband, because it trains you to be married. Because if you didn't have that training, your marriage wouldn't make it, because you're going to go through trials, tribulations once you get married. And a lot of people that married, you can be a testament to that. You have been through trials and tribulations. You know you have. Right? And you know when nothing but the Father that got you through them all. I mean, I've heard some testimonies. Nothing but the Father. So if that's the case, then, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. That relationship that you're building, I know sometimes you want to listen to different people and go jump over here and jump over there. But sometimes, right, if your relationship is not right with Yahusha, you can be led astray. That's why you just got to have a relationship with Yahusha, because then he gives you discernment on who's preaching right and who's not. Like, my relationship with him, I can hear the word. I don't care who it is. You know, I hear what's right and what's not right. I know that is the word and that is the scripture. And I know that that's not the scripture and that's not the word. That's the spirit. And I have not read the whole Bible, but I have the Holy Spirit, that spirit that my relationship with Yahusha has given me. That spirit. It's a spirit that gives you discernment of no effort of your own. It's no effort. It's really your faith in what you believe, you know. If you believe when you hear the truth, it's the truth. And you say, look, I know that to be the truth. Not only because I'm old enough to be able to see that it's the truth because of things that I experienced. I just know it's the truth, period, because of my relationship with Yahusha. It keeps going back to him. I mean, there's no way you can get around him. And this is the relationship he wants you to have. So when you go up there and be judged, you will be a spotless bride, because you made Yahusha your husband and he cleaned you up. And now you don't have any spots. So ladies, again, it is imperative that you hear what I'm saying to you. You cannot feed your flesh through this. You have to starve your flesh out. Die to your flesh. Die to your flesh. Yes, does that mean you got to go out here looking bummy and all that, You shouldn't even want to attract a man because Yahusha gonna be jealous. So that's why I say don't. I mean, some of y'all so beautiful. You're beautiful, and it just shows. As soon as you walk out the door, it shows how beautiful you are. You just a perfectly made, gorgeous thing. And as soon as you go to the store, people see that, right? And you don't always have to hide all of that natural beauty, but you don't. If anybody say anything to you, you need to be saying the word back to them. That's your armor right there. But I don't think he wants you to hide all of your beauty. Now hide it if you can't do the right thing. If it's gonna pull you to sin, then hide it. If you got a big gigantic rear derriere, you should be hiding that because you don't want to pull people to you for that. That's not what you want to pull people. You don't want people to be coming because of your accessories. Because that's already fleshly and that's going to guide you in the wrong direction. You don't need so many compliments on your outer appearance. Not saying you can't get them now, because some of us just beautiful. Like, y'all are some beautiful women. Like, he made some beautiful women out here. But what I'm telling you is, if you're out in the street and you're getting compliments and people coming to you because of your assets, and you can't make that into a testimony, then you shouldn't be showing it. You should be showing it anyway, but I'm saying some of us got things that we can't hide. Okay? If the Father gave you big stuff and it's fatty, it's hard to hide. And I can put on the turtleneck from here up to my eyeballs and then something gonna show through it all. I'm just saying, some of us, you know what I mean, ladies. You got assets, they ain't going nowhere and it's hard to hide. But when I'm telling you, when you're being approached by these men out here, you should be spitting that word back at them. That's what you should be doing. You should be opening up their eyes to the Father. That's what you should be doing. It shouldn't even be, oh, he trying to talk to me. No, he trying to talk to you so that he can see Yahusha through you. Come on. Redirect that thing. Oh, you're so beautiful. You know what? You are beautiful too. Do you know Yahusha? Does Yahusha live with you? You know, who's Yahusha? Well, that is the Messiah. You need to know him. You got to get him. You got to learn about him. Well, can I do Bible study with you? You sure can, but we're not going to do it in person. We can do it over the phone. We can do it at Zoom. We can do all of these things, but, I'm already married to him. So if you don't want to get to know him, right? You need to know him, or you can't know me. Now, this is how we're supposed to be out here, ladies. This is how we're supposed to be. Now, I think that we can still look cute and wear nice dresses. And I don't see anything wrong with these things. But when it shows too much of your assets, you need to tame that down because you don't want to pull lust out of a man, because if you pull the lust out of a man and you go up there to heaven, you're going to be judged for that. You're going to be judged. It's going to happen. So, you got a big derriere and you want to show it off and you got some injections in there. Okay, you're going to be judged for all of that. You'll be judged. Because, why'd you do that? What is your motive? You just wanted it to for what? And then now you got it. And now you wish you ain't never had it. What is happening? And it's so difficult because you see all of this stuff happening. You want to do the same thing. You see a hairdo, you want that. You want these things. And I to be honest with you, I don't think anything's wrong with that because we under grace right now. It's very difficult in these times to, come away from things that's out here. I mean, it's just a hard time right now when he's pulling us out the world, but we're still in the world. I mean, that's just that's why you got to get that spirit right. That's why you got to concentrate on your spirit with him, because then he kind of guides you through all the rest. So that's all I wanted to say, ladies. Be encouraged, okay, to continue that relationship with him, because it's beautiful, it's fulfilling. It is everything that you ever will need in the whole entire world. It's everything. You'd be amazed. It's everything. All your flesh kind of goes numb. You don't even think about it anymore. And that's where you need to be. Because these times are going to get perilous, and it's not, this is the end times, and it's going to get worse. And so we need that spirit to be on point. And your spirit being on point can actually help somebody else. And that is the focus. And then when you are obedient to that, then the Father does what he needs to do for you. Because he knows that whatever he put in you, he knows who you're going to need to continue the mission, the purpose, the destiny. He knows who you need. But he needs you to get in alignment with him. So I hope this encourages you to continue this walk with him. And that's all I really have to say. I mean, I can go on and on about this, but I think hopefully you're getting it. So be blessed, my ladies. Stay beautiful, my ladies. Stay Elohim-ish, my ladies. And, the Davis Ministry loves you. And we want the best for you. And we want you to go in the right direction. So continue to build your faith. Spread this message to your ladies, and hopefully they can find their husband in Yahusha. Hallelujah. Bless y'all.